For you in Lagos, have you met with any of the candidates?
Personally, we have not, because we are a non-partisan group to start with. So basically what we do is we try as much as possible to be like the whistleblowers. This is what we do. I wait for them to invite us, and then we tell you where we stand. We probably may not be willing to probably stretch out the hand and invite you to come and tell us what you have or what you don't have. But basically, we just keep blowing the whistle, we keep warning, we keep alerting them that people are watching, and we are watching.
Don't you think that's rather not too good, a style, knowing full well that they just might not call you if they're too busy, on the field in their campaigns? You could also, have a meeting with all the candidates and sell your idea of peace or your notion of peaceful elections to them.
Yes, you're correct in saying that. But the challenge is this. We know how the political class is, and we are not per se politicians. And what we do by way of town hall meetings, that's where we take it to. We do town hall meetings, and we get the local government, depending on the area we go to, we get the stakeholders, and then we gather people together and we get them to ask questions. The regular town hall meeting, we have done that. We did some in November, we had in December as well. We've not had any this year, but at that level, that's the level to which we operate, and the level at which we meet them and have our interface, and we sell our message of peace.
Okay, I'm just a little curious now. We're talking about justice, development, and peace, and definitely the message of nonviolence is very important to it, but people also say that for us to reduce the incidence of violence, we must have credible elections. I mean, when the elections are transparent and clear enough, chances that people will want to be violent is nil. Now, one of the ways that INEC says that they're trying to ensure that the elections are credible is this use of PVCs. You have seen the controversy. There's been, for total use of PVC, we use it with TVC, and so on and so forth. Has your organization waded into this conversation? Have you thought about it? And, are you saying that this is what you believe that INEC should be doing?
On our own part, we have waded into it. We have discussed it at various levels on the level that we are in Lagos, and even at the national level. We have looked at it critically. And I said at the beginning that we want to believe that INEC is acting in good faith. They had told us since 2011 that there will be the PVC and there will equally be a card reader. Our own dismay or shock, or would I say embarrassment, is that it's not ready yet. It's almost like we had time to do this, and if we had done it and we got it right, then I think at this point we should not be at this place. The question I would always ask is, when did we get to this point? What happened? Where did we miss it? Because the same PVC and card reader was equally used in Ghana, and we didn't get to hear of these, the postponements and these challenges. So that we're having these challenges, it's either there was lack of proper preparation prevents good performance, or I'd rather say with the 5 Ps, proper preparation prevents poor performance. And so if INEC has not prepared properly, and that's where we are at this point. So whether it's the fact that some persons tried to sabotage the work, or they are simply the ones who have not done it well, now they are trying to up the ante and they are trying to up the game. And we want to just believe with them. We want to be optimistic, basically, that, and remind them as well that because we are watching, people are watching. We don't take anyone for granted at this point. So be realistic. So that's the level at which we have been making our campaigns and talking about it. But we are hopeful.
So your campaign has been more to INEC to ensure that the PVCs are ready.
Are ready as well.
As many people as need their PVCs get them. You're not wading in as to whether by March the 8th, which INEC says is this deadline, if not everybody has their PVCs, then maybe we should also go with the TVCs. You are not considering that?
We've not, because like I said, they had said this earlier. that these PVCs will be ready. Now that it's looking like it may not be ready, we are also thinking, what are the pros and the cons of having to allow people still make use of the TVCs? We know the accompanying problems that come with it. If everything, the challenge is that in Nigeria, we don't seem to trust the public officers. We don't seem to trust them. We cannot vouch for what they say. And so when somebody is telling us that it will be ready, people are already presuming by 8 it would not be ready. Everybody who cannot get it. So we're already ahead of them and saying, okay, if it's not ready, then let us use TVC. How about suppose it is ready? Suppose everybody gets it, which we know in times past, even all those who got TVCs, how many came out to vote? So now that we've got 75, I'm not saying 75 is okay. It's a good, but it's a fair enough number. But I believe that if they're acting in good faith, I like that. I just want to believe that they are sincere. If they are sincere enough, if they are genuine, if they are honest, at the point at which they get to, I think going back to the TVC may become a little problematic. Personally, I have both PVC and TVC.
How do you do that?
That's what I said. I went to the polling center and I didn't go with my TVC because I didn't have it at that point. And I said, so what do I do? And the individual who was there said to me, well, Father, if you've got a passport. I said, passport. So I checked my wallet and there was a passport. In fact, there was no passport. There was a picture size, 5x7. I had to cut out my face and wrote my name at the back and give to them. And so after I came back, I searched the house and I found my TVC. So now the challenge is I have both the PVC and the TVC.
How do you think, because having monitored the previous elections and then preparations for this election, particularly introduction of the PVC, how do you think that will enhance the integrity of the elections when they talk about foolproof or politicians or anyone at that not being able to rig the elections?
Whether it's going to be watertight is still very much doubtful. Whether it's going to be watertight, that you foolproof, that no one can manipulate it. It's still, I'm not a technological guru, so I don't know how it will play out. But
what do you think is doubtful?
I feel well, you just may not be able to have 100% of everything. In the case where I cannot vote in Yaba because I didn't register there, or the card reader is not conditioned to read my card because I registered somewhere in Ekpe, then it becomes problematic. At that point, I'm said to, but I was thinking I would have subscribed to an idea whereby we have international passports, and wherever you go, they can easily know where you are, who you are at every point in time. So if I have my PVC and I slot into the card reader in Yaba, it should be able to bring up my data. Okay, you registered so and so and all of it, and I should be able to vote at that point. But that I'm not able to do that, it's still not very clear to me why it is the case. So I just feel because of some of those things and the whole idea of people snatching or confiscating PVCs, I've asked myself, is it the case that somebody can use someone else's PVC?
Yeah, but the reason, if I remember that properly, why, because INEC says, look, they had to change something such that people will not rig. So first they color code the ballot papers to, I think, polling unit or local government or ward. And so you can't snatch it and go somewhere else, thumbprint and vote. The same thing for the card readers and PVC is restricted to your region.
To that region.
So it's tough for you to go somewhere else and vote. To that extent, doesn't that contribute
to that extent, it's good. To that extent, it's good. But then, what happens to those who people migrate? My kid brother registered in Nasarawa.
Yeah, but they had a window when they could go to a certain place, transfer or request to transfer your data from where you were to where you're going to be. And so INEC says if that window, that timeline is over, there's nothing they can do.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know if it's INEC's fault or it's our own fault, but I want to feel that if we want to do it well, we could do it well. If we want to do it right, we can get it. In the American society, I don't think when you need to vote, you need to shut down the entire city. People no longer have to walk on the streets. People will not have to go to work or go to school. Remember, even in Ghana, they voted on a Friday, and people had to drop off their children in school and then still go and vote. And people moved around, but in this case, you can't even move around. Now, like I was saying, someone who had registered in Nasarawa in 2011 and had, because he was on youth service, had no business probably going down again to Nasarawa to request for PVC when you live in Lagos, knowing the security challenges in the country. It wasn't going to be an advisable thing for him. Okay, go to there and get your... But in a situation where one could actually go somewhere, maybe like the INEC office closest to you, and request. I don't know if that was done. I doubt that was done. But in this case, like I'm saying, I believe that what they've done, they may not get all of it correct, but they have acted in good faith. They want the best for Nigeria. That's what we all want, and that is what my agency stands for. We want the best for the country. So whatever it's going to take, it may not be perfect, but we are willing to work with INEC. We are willing to play by the rules. For all intents and purposes, I will probably no longer be voting because I cannot travel down to Ekpe for that period because I would equally be observing the elections within Yaba vicinity. So it's going to be difficult for me to, but I still have my PVC. And I don't know how that will play out.